Okay, look, the whole world wants to talk about this temple thing. When is the temple going to be rebuilt? So, I don't know. Maybe there's going to be one built, maybe not. But let's think about this for a second. Because we know as soon as they get ready to build it, it's going to cause World War III and IV combined. So let's compare a couple of things. Let's look at the temple that Solomon, Zerubbabel, and Herod built. We've got a stone structure that is permanent. It doesn't move. And then let's compare that to the temple that God actually tells Moses to build. It's the tabernacle in the wilderness, the Mishkan. What's the difference between the permanent tabernacle? Is that this one is mobile. Okay? They moved this all around. But here at Shiloh, it stood for 369 years. But what's another key indicator of this temple? This temple, the Holy of Holies, the Kodesh HaKodeshim, is covered in 11 layers of what? Skin. Why is the world looking for a permanent structure that can't be moved? Maybe we should be looking for a temple that is portable and covered in skin. One is made out of stone, the other one is covered in skin, animal skins. Yeshua HaMashiach talks of this. He says that we are the temple. This even goes back to the Tanakh. Well, yes, I think probably at some point in the future we're going to have one, but maybe we're looking at it from the wrong mindset at this point in time. So that's just...
Because our body is the temple.
For sure.
And Christ lives in us.
Yes. Well, the laws are here. He does, but the laws are here. Right? This is going to be Jeremiah 31:31.
Do you think this could tie into the transhumanism?
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, is it the issue of what is the abomination of desolation that's spoken of by Daniel the prophet? You know, is this the millions and millions of babies that we are aborting every year, every country, including Israel, the United States, Europe? Is this going to be the transhumanism? Is this going to be taking the DNA and altering DNA, the foundation, the very foundation of all human life? When we start to alter that, why is that not the abomination? These are just different ways to think about it. This is not definitive, it's not dogmatic. It's just we need to think a little bit differently and more spiritually towards what Christ tells us, Yeshua, and the scriptures tell us.
But you still think there could be another temple? At
some point, we've got Ezekiel's temple. I think we're going to have it at some point. When that is, I have no idea. I do know nothing good is going to happen once it's built, because we know that the Antichrist is going to stand up there and proclaim himself God. No good comes from that.
So it could happen on the Temple Mount, and they're ready to build the next temple, aren't they?
Well, look, if we read the scripture of Solomon building the temple, it was prefabricated, and not the sound of a hammer could be heard when he put it together. That's 3,000 years ago. How fast do you think they can put together a prefabbed building today? My guess is less than a week.
And we've seen a lot of signs of that they're preparing to build it already.
You have the Temple Institute. This may be some of the Temple Institute stuff, I'm not sure. Those guys are the experts, and you should go there, film everything, talk to them, get as much information, because the Sanhedrin is in place. They have the actual altar, they have the laver, they have everything. They're ready to rock and roll. But, you know, that's not for us. I don't know that we're supposed to push this. I think this is something that God will put in His time. That's just me.
But time is short, so it seems.
Time is short. It may be weeks.
Really?
I don't know.
But it's literally...
He says, after everybody hears, all right, from a believer's standpoint, they like to talk about, Yeshua says that this gospel will be preached throughout all the nations. Okay, that's from a believing standpoint. From a Jewish standpoint, our God is legalistic, and so is the believer's God. And so what does that mean? That means that if you believe God is justice, all right, that means every human being is going to get to hear the word of God. It's just like in your local county or state or city. Whenever someone brings a lawsuit, the judge, the trier of fact, the first thing they do before that person ever sees anybody is they look at the file to make sure proof of service is done, meaning both parties have heard. Before God returns, all right, He wants to make sure every one of His creators that they have heard the word. And behind every tree and every rock and in any spacecraft, in any submarine, is the Bible today on this device right here. Who hasn't heard? There may be a few, and once that happens, if you believe Yeshua, he says, then the end will come. Me personally, I happen to believe this. So we're very close if you believe Yeshua.